Hey, Brian, bro, I appreciate you for being out here, man.
Yes, sir.
Episode number 4. So, I've had a couple of my boys already on, a couple of people I work with a lot. So, first of all, thank you for coming out, man. You do a lot of big things. Obviously, thank you for Dennis for True Believer Cigars. Well, talk to me a little bit about Manifest and what you got going on.
Right now, we're proud, maybe a year and a half old. Shouts out to, the team, Terry Thomas and Bristol, Curtis Bristol. Oh, I thought somebody was not. Dominican leaf. I'm not a cigar expert, but I just know a little bit. I smoke them all the time. Everybody love them. They got a sweet cap, but it's not infused. Man, it's a very good smoke. It's a mild to medium. Once you get to the third, it's a little spicy. About halfway in the first third, it'll probably get rid of the sweet cap. But it's a universal smoke.
So let me ask you a question. I know you play in a couple different fields. I know obviously your main business is marketing. You work with the social media. You really help build businesses up. Is that kind of how you got into cigar? You're just working with a couple people and hey, you find an opportunity where you can kind of partner in and take advantage of what's going on?
Actually, I'm gonna be real. I got into cigars being funny. This was in college. For whatever reason, I fucking got a bald head. I had started getting bald heads in the summertime. First time was actually a little joke, like a dare. I'm probably about 23, 24 at the time. And my boy Josiah Graham, who owns Graham Injury Firm, he actually got cigar bar too as well. I said, we was out one night in Orlando, because we was in school in Orlando. His school was probably 6 miles up the same street. And we went hanging out one night, right before he went to law school. And I had fucking a polo sweater, some slacks, and some hard bottoms. And he pulled out a cigar. I say, damn. I said I should be the one with the cigar. I'm dressed. Because, you know what I'm saying? I was just joking around, being goofy. We out drinking. He was like, try it. So I'm like, all right. Tried it out. I took a picture. And it's crazy. So he was like, hey, that kind of fits you. And I was like, oh, yeah. Fun. So from there, I wound up trying my first cigar.
Thank you.
Yeah, long story short, fast forward, I don't know if you remember the Hard Rock used to have cigar stands.
Yeah.
Back in the day with the hot peanut, hot pecans and all that. I bought rape of that. So I seen a similar cigar. I'm in a gambling one night, wanted me a little money. I was feeling like a million. So I said, you know what? I'm gonna try my another cigar. Wound up getting a cigar.
Or is it a straight?
Didn't know what the hell I'm doing. Didn't buy the right one. I'm choking. But I say all that to say I started off as a joke, and then I'm a little impulsive, so I wanted to start learning. Okay, why he did choke? Why I was choking? Then I started doing research. Okay, you got to know about the leaf, the brand, this and that. So I started researching different brands, this and that. Fast forward again, I started getting into cigars, because I don't smoke weed. So it's I drink, and I start smoking a cigar. People start laughing. Oh, well, you too young to be smoking cigars. Hey, this is a good stick.
Yeah.
True believer.
Yeah.
It's like a good stick.
There's a little bit longer. Real back.
Old Mustangs.
Yeah, I couldn't see no.
Wound up
It looks nice.
just getting deep into them. Fast forward again, it became a hobby, and I wound up meeting one of my partners at Manifest. I wound up meeting him. He's a neighbor of a guy that I consider my brother. So he had a wedding maybe 2 or 3 years ago. And I think the gift to give out to his groomsmen was cigars with his face and his wife. He was like, oh, I'm gonna try this out. And I know you smoke cigars.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about producing it. Fast forward, he wound up switching it over to Manifest. He already had tobacco to lead, tobacco, this and that. So, accept it.
Nah, I mean, that's
It
just
all started with a fucking joke.
that's your story though. That's your story. Nah, it's funny too, cause you know I started smoking cigars because of my mentor Hassan, and I remember this back in the days. I was super young, and I was working in a restaurant, and and you know I would see this one guy keep on coming like 3-4 times a week, and one day I'm just like, who is this guy? Like, who is this guy? Listen, man, he's loaded. So I was like, you know what? So I started getting around him. I started like, you know, asking him a whole bunch of questions, talking about money, finances. He's like, you know what? You know a lot more than you know a lot more than I thought you did. And so one day I'm like, you know, I want to take him on as a mentor. So I was like, let me take you out to lunch. And he was like, all right, let's do it. You know, I definitely would love to know what you know, or a little bit what you know. So I take him out to lunch. Obviously, he's giving me free knowledge, so I got to pay for lunch. That's the way I see it, right? You know, it's a gift. Everything's a give and take, right?
Mm-hmm.
So he goes, here, I bought the cigar for you. You want one? I was like, man, I can't. I have asthma. And he was like, you don't inhale this. Like, it doesn't really, like, it's not really gonna affect you. So I started smoking. I'm like, man. Ever since then, I have a very addictive personality, like in general. But so ever since then, it's been game over. Like, I'm smoking cigars like sometimes 3-4 times a week. You know, 2-3 sticks a day sometimes. And you know, not saying it's a good thing, but that's where I got my love. But you know, at the end of the day, you know, lunch came, Bill came around, and he took it. He's like, nah. He's like, trust me, I got this. But he always appreciated the fact that I offered, you know, him and his girlfriend. They're like, you know, one day we all went to Cheetah's to watch the fight. I think it was the McGregor versus Mayweather. And
I was at Cheetah's that night.
For real? I was there right down Hollindale?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was there.
with Josiah.
Yeah.
The same one who introduced me to cigar.
That's so funny, yeah. So
I was on the right side.
Yeah.
Right upstairs.
Yeah.
Yep.
He had bought a table, and his girlfriend noticed it. Like, you know, I took one drink, and I ain't really like, you know, just leech off the whole table. You know, some people that come in, they leeching off the table, and he came to me the next day.
He had cigars and all that. That's so crazy.
That's so funny though. He came to me the next day, like, you know, I was talking to my girl. She's like, "Oh, I like him. He doesn't just leech off you, you know." He's like, funny thing, he actually offered to pay the first time we went out for lunch. So I just say that to show like when you're young and you're trying to like get some information, like don't be cheap. Like information isn't free, right? Like if they had to sacrifice for years to get to where they're at, that's mistakes that cost money, you know, that cost time, which is something you can't get back, because you could always get back money. So if you're young and you're trying to learn from somebody else, like you might, even if you don't have it, try to find a way to kind of like do something to show like, hey, I'm not taking your time and your knowledge and your wisdom for granted. Like, I actually want to know what you want to know, and I know what you put in, so let me do this. Most of the time, it's probably they're not even going to offer to take it because they understand, like, you know, they have the money. They don't need the money. They're not here. They don't need the free lunch. They know that, you know, you paying for that lunch is more than probably you might be able to afford, or whatever the case may be. You know, but that token of appreciation, saying, "Hey, I got this," you know, means more.
Yeah, that's true. And to add to that, I would say, so probably, I don't know no other product that you could probably do more business with besides smoking. You even got to finish the cigar, but smoking a cigar, man, I done met probably some of the richest people.
100%.
Some of the coolest people. Some of the most social, down to earth people. You know what I'm saying? We linked up.
Yeah, that's how we linked up.
Cigars.
I'm in here shooting here for free because of cigar. I met Dennis at the lounge.
I took my nephew to cigar bar probably 2 months ago. Maybe about a month or two ago. He's like 17. My bad. But I got him in there just to see the atmosphere. He's about to be 18 in about a month. But I brought him in there to explain to him why he's at that age, because I got introduced on the humbug, on a joke that turned into, you know, business.
Yes, that's
thousands of dollars, six-figure businesses. You know what I'm saying? But I'm introducing it to him way earlier to say, hey, I ain't telling you can't go to the club, or you can't meet quality people out at bars and lounges and clubs, and I know you're gonna probably go to college, or if not, you're gonna hang out. You know what I'm saying? I hang out too. But I tried to show him, like, I say, hey, look at this guy over here. What he look like he do? He was like, I don't know, he look like he chilling. I said, man, that's judge. You know what I'm saying? That's a judge. Look at this guy over here. What you think he do? Look, he got slides on. Oh yeah, he own, you know, a train, a restaurant, this and that, whatever. But they all, you know, come in, social, cool. And I say that to say, man, you can learn a lot and give and receive a lot smoking cigars. And I'm not trying to promote tobacco in a, like in a healthy way, but I just want to say, you know, because of me joking around, taking a picture with a cigar when I'm about 22, over 10 years ago, it turned into a success story. Now I'm sitting here with you smoking.
Nah, 100%. Yeah, it's funny, it's because that's so true, man. I mean, if you think about like, just like for example, I like to go. Well, obviously, you know, we go to downtown a lot. That's right by the crib. But I go a lot to the one in the Hard Rock too, because I go out to the Hard Rock a lot.
Davidoff.
Yeah, Davidoff.
Man, I had a crazy story.
So many people I've met in there. You know, that's where I met Dennis. That's why I could pick up my phone book and just boop and swipe a millionaire.
It took me a while to even realize that they had a private cigar lounge there.
I didn't know. I bought a cigar before a tournament one day, and I went to go to the bar. I was like, hey, can I smoke the cigar here? Like, no, you can't. You can go to Davidoff. I'm like, Davidoff, they got the humidor and they got the store. What you talking about?
You think it's so small,
I
right?
know. He's like, oh no, there's a window in the back.
I'm gonna tell you. So one day I walked in there. I just wanted to check out they, you know, cigars, what type of brands that they carried at the time. This was right before the pandemic. Maybe, no, actually, this probably was 2020, probably in the damn pandemic, or 2019, so up and up. I walk in there one day, I'm dressed out. I'm just in there looking. She's like, sir, you need help with that? I'm like, no, I'm just looking. I come back a few months later. I'm in my hard barbers and stuff now. It's, oh, hey, sir, let me show you the selection, this and that, right? So then she say, I want up on one. Davidoff, the white,
the white sale.
I didn't like it. Sorry, Davidoff. But I didn't like it. I'm gonna tell you what happened to me over it. So she wound up saying, "Hey, come check out. If you want to come smoke, come check out the lounge." I'm like, "Where? Where?" You know
let me pull a chair for you.
Like, oh, right here to the right. Let me show you. So I walk down. I'm like, she's like, oh, she hit the mirror. Yeah. They open up like 007. Looking up, I say, oh, it's nice.
It is, man. It is.
Oh, what did me and Josiah go keep plugging Josiah back. He always smokes cigars and shit. We wound up going there one day, having a smoke. The bartender, coolest dude. I learned so much from this dude, from how tequila is made, how cognac is made, the barrels, Hennessy.
It's a lot.
What do you say? If it don't come from France is not certain wine or something.
Oh yeah, champagne. So a spark if it's from America, sparkling or anywhere else besides, not even just France. Champagne is that Champagne region of France.
Know that.
Yeah, it's sparkling wine.
I went a whole probably like an hour and a half getting free like history. I learned about McAllen. I learned that Michael Jordan be there. He got a liquor. I didn't even know.
Yeah, Sincoro. It's funny too because when I went there, I remember a couple years back, I was there, right? And I'm there, and I see this one section they had it reserved out. So I sit to the side to watch the games. NBA Finals, it's Suns and the Bucks.
Oh, that was recent.
Yeah, I see somebody sitting there. I'm like, man, Ray Lewis. Yeah, Ray Lewis. So I'm not here to bother nobody. So I'm just watching the game, throw little comments here and there. He'll throw some comments back. We end up chopping it up for a little bit. Seen him like 4 or 5 times after that. He'll dap me up every time he see me. Yeah. But later that day, then came in Michael Vick. You know, sitting in that group. The people I've met in that place, it's just say like you said, man. Like you know, a lot of people always talk about, you know, business done on a golf course and this and that, but
And it
how,
is.
yeah, it is. I'm not saying it isn't, but you got how many really people can you be around in a golf course, right? You're gonna be around like the 4 or 5
How
people.
much talking can
Yeah.
you do while
What? You quiet, I'm swinging, you know. And then it's like if you don't know how to play golf, then you really don't belong there because
Yeah.
you're gonna look like a fool swinging, and it goes that way, you know.
Because I tried.
But this the golf course that you can just sit down. Look, nobody, you're not judged off your like ability to smoke. Like it's not a sport.
Yeah.
You just sit down, you relax, you have conversations, and you build a camaraderie. You know, it's like these membership clubs. It's you're building a camaraderie with the people around you. Like it's almost like you've got an automatic stamp of approval. You know, you sitting down at the cigar lounge, like I'm gonna trust you because you're around here. You're doing the right things. Like let's talk about what you're doing. Hey, let's see if we can find a way to make each other work. That's what happened with us. Like
Yeah.
I mean, look, we sat down for a cigar randomly. Like I didn't know you, you didn't know me, and I mean, what? That's 4 or 5 months ago, and we still been working every single, you know, hitting each other up every other day. Like, hey, I got this person, I'll meet you too. Hey, I want to introduce you to this person. We just go back and forth and exchanging and just trying to grow and trying to build each other up because, I mean, that's what it's about. Like, entrepreneurship is like a brotherhood in itself.
Yeah.
You know, you as an entrepreneur and looking at me as an entrepreneur, we recognize each other. We're like, listen, we understand what it takes, like, to build this.
Who really do
Yeah,
it. Like,
yeah, we understand.
I really do this. Nah, you're right. I have met some people that I probably been following they hustle for years. Shouts out to Victor George at Disney Reggie Vodka. He owns Fort Mosaic.
Okay.
They got another liquor that they're producing too.
There's so much money in that game.
Listen, I've been following this man for what, 6 years, 5 years maybe on Instagram, and I actually seen him through these twins that I do from MySpace. I think they did like
back in
yeah, young. They do videography and I think graphics. I forgot your name, but I just always call them twin. They look identical. But they used to post Victor George, and I used to be like, excuse me, I used to be like, damn, really good, cool looking guy. Talk about he got his own vodka from South Florida. I'm like, I ain't gonna lie, my entrepreneur side was like, yeah. Then my branding side, my marketing side was like, man, they need to update that logo.
Yeah,
I need
exactly.
to update their logo. Like that was my first thoughts.
Yeah.
But then I was like, okay, let's see what's going on with the brand. Long story short, he wound up being in a cigar bar one day,
That's crazy.
and I'm like, oh, I'm going to him, smoking the sneeze. No, actually, he was Publix, so you know Publix right next door.
Oh yeah, yeah.
You can bring your food, you can't order.
Yeah,
your food.
because they don't got no food there.
So I wait till he was done. No, actually, I said, hey, sir, when you're done, I'd like to introduce myself or whatever. Couldn't say, no problem. Go back over there. He finished. I said, man, my name is such and such. I do this. He said, man, I've been following you for years, and I support your brand. It's an honor to meet you. Said it just like that. It was like, okay, but he was like, sit down, talk to me. You know what I'm saying? Went through what you got coming up. Just pretty much networking with him. Back to entrepreneurship.
Yeah.
So being social. Told him what he had going on. He wound up telling me, hey, come on, we're doing a happy hour tasting. I'm doing the Fort Mosaic. Come through and shoot. Went right there to Red Door in Los Olas.
Yeah.
Shot. Now I see him around all the time. It's all love. You know what I'm saying? I got his phone number. He built the first black-owned distillery, I believe,
Oh, that's
and
amazing.
he got one in Palm Beach, and I believe he might be doing one in Broward. But I say all that to say, you know, I got that from smoking cigars.
Yeah. No, that's funny. I respect all entrepreneurs because, like, you know what it takes. You know what, and everybody, most people listening are gonna knows what it takes to be an entrepreneur, right? What it takes to start from the ground, to build yourself up. But for those, you know, like entrepreneurs that have made it and got no problem coming down to a young entrepreneur and say, hey, you know, I'm gonna show you what I know. even more respect goes out to them, because that's what I'm trying to do with this podcast, right?
Yeah.
That's what I'm trying to do with my knowledge, because everything I've learned, everything I've done, everything I've failed at and succeeded at is time. That's what it is. It's time, it's money, and knowledge is meant to be shared.
Yeah.
Right? It's not meant to be hoarded, like, because there's people when you're gone are gonna have to hear what you're doing, and they're gonna learn a little bit, trial and error. But if you can help them, cut past little arrows, little ways here and there, they might have something huge that makes the rest of the world's life that much easier, because they did that, and they did it in less time because hey, you know what? I was into this one podcast, or I was reading this one book, or I, talked to this one entrepreneur and he told me to do this instead of that, and you just cut 3-4 years. Maybe the world got something 3-4 years earlier because they listened to what somebody said before them. I tell this all the time. Mentorship is like, I'm in front of a brick wall and I keep on going forward and forward and forward. And I keep on hitting it, and a mentor is going to tell you, hey, there's a door 3 feet to the right. Just go that way, and you're going to cut so much time. And that's what mentorship is. People don't really value this mentorship as much as they should, but it goes back to like the old days, right? We're talking about hundreds and thousands of years ago. How was the world ran? It was ran by, they were pretty much, not within. They didn't have it like this, but single, person LLCs. Everybody's a carpenter, a blacksmith, or this or that.
Bartering too.
And then they had apprentices. So I'm learning from you for free. You're probably giving me some money here and there to help you, but really you're teaching me how to do, what it is.
I think South Florida lacks that. Now I will say around the cigar culture is still there, but I would say South Florida, that's one of my biggest pet peeves about South Florida, because I done been in Atlanta for a few years, back and forth. It's different.
I'll tell you,
people, they want to they'll give you the game for free.
Yeah.
Let you shadow them. Apprenticeship.
I'll tell you this, it's very cutthroat down here, right? It's every man for themselves, and it shouldn't be, right? If you look like down here, everybody's out for themselves. Like, I want to be, the guy in this, that, hey, he's the guy pull up in the Rolls Royce, he's the guy pull up in the Bentley, he's the guy put up this, that, everybody look at me, right? We're very superficial down here, right? It's like, I'm a be fly, I'm gonna ride the best whip, I'm gonna let the girls see what I got, and I'm gonna do this is all me, and it's very superficial, it's a very like status oriented place. It's like you're known by how much money you have, or by how you dress. You go on Instagram, you see people, they coming out, they taking pics coming out the jet. They rented that jet for $150 for the hour to take a photo shoot. They didn't fly in that jet. But you know what they got is the illusion they got it. And a lot of people, if you even, I'm not even going to pinpoint South Florida in general, but if you look at like the way everything is, it's like, all right, let me show that I'm very flashy and I'm very successful, and then people are going to come to me and ask, and I'm going to sell them some type of course, or I'm going to sell them this, I'm going to sell them that, because I got it. When you live in your mom's basement.
There has been so many courses in the past 3 years. I would have thought everybody is a PhD professor.
It's funny too, because it's like, I tell people, look, and this is not to knock anybody on courses, because obviously they're valuable. They got the master class where they got courses on everything, but at the same time, it's like, if you're making so much money doing it, why take time out to do a course? Like, why don't you just keep on doing it? Like, some people are extremely successful at what they do, so they pre-record their courses, they release it out. Nothing wrong with that. I'm not even dumping on the course industry. I'm just saying there's a lot of people who can't do it, so they sell a course. Until they do, and that's where they're making money.
I'm gonna go further and say, if not that they can't do it, I'm gonna say a lot of people that haven't done it, but they haven't followed, so that they might go read some, or somebody gave them a little knowledge, or they could be finessing. Yeah, they go this course on this, 10 ways how to do this, and it'd be like, well, I guess I can.
This thing was, what's real, what's not.
Well, especially when it comes to trucking.
Oh yeah, because that's
trucking. Everybody had courses from trucking. I'm like, let me go see if this person. Man, I'm judging it off your Instagram, so I could be ignorant, but at the same time, it's like, have you really been out there? Have you really went through like? Don't tell me how you were successful. Tell me where you effed up at.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Man.
So if I do this course, I want to know what not to do.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Don't tell me what to do, because I can learn that. You know what I'm saying?
there's a lot of niches. Like real estate is a big one. Everybody got a real estate course, right? I'm gonna teach you how to make money, with
how
this.
to buy a house with zero money down.
Yeah. Which they're wholesaling. We already know what they're doing because if you know the game, you know what they're doing, right? And if people are like, zero money down, that's great. Let me do that. Go ahead, flip it, make it $500, $1,000, whatever, quick. Hey, you know what? If you make your money that way, that's how you get it, man. I'm not telling you not to, but don't start faking like you this and that, and you just teaching people like one thing, and you making money off of it. Which, hey, respect to you.
Hey, one thing about I remember Rick Ross said in an interview. He said, you got cats who sold. I'm paraphrasing. He said, you sold a few ounces. Now you the Pac-Man. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to be that person. So you sold one house. Now you're a real estate
Now you're
mogul.
a real estate mogul.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, to tie it back in, the people that I've met, I would say, in South Florida, around the cigar culture, has given me free knowledge.
Yes.
Well, I ain't gonna say free knowledge, because it still was my time to listen, but free in the sense of monetary.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I got more knowledge in 3 years. I really say a couple months, within a year, than I probably would ever get from no shade, but from any course. Just by meeting the people I've met that's already successful in that realm. You know what I'm saying? And they're not scared to say, hey, yeah, I lost 100,000. I got a homie just opened up a club, bro. I'm down 100,000 right now. What happened? Oh, I did this. I did that. Yeah, I just broke even. I'm finally turning a profit, but he could easily say, oh, how to open up a club.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
No, it's funny too, and it's funny too because if you look at something I've noticed, if you look at the people out here doing big business, like we're talking about, they're doing big business, they're running AMs and tens of AMs and hundreds of AMs, and you look at them, and I tell you, me and my boy Eric always have this conversation where we always we'll peep game to some people, see a guy, he got the little boat shoes with the khaki shorts, little polo shirt, but he got a $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 watch. Not really flashy, just that watch. And it's a plain Jane, right? Because everybody like to bust down the watches, right? But don't realize that you took a Rollie and you didn't put factory stones in it. Now that it was a $50,000 watch, now it's a $20,000 watch because you messed it up. This guy got a plain Jane, but it's $50,000, $60,000. And that's real money, right? He's not there to show his money. He's not there to put it out. He's not there to, don't get me wrong, I like jewelry. It's what I like. Yeah. But, everybody out here want to look flashy, but they don't got the money. Those people who don't even got nothing out of this, worth billions, they got nothing out. They got a t-shirt, tank tops, flip-flops, and he walking around, but he just put into his, $100 million yacht.
Yeah, and you can see a lot of that too. Even that cigar bar, even that top-notch Casa de Monte Cristos and
Boca. I've been playing that. I like smoking the water.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I like smoking the water. Now I'm excited for Dennis and Rob to get their new location. They're gonna have a full just lounge set up and everything. Yeah. So that's pretty cool.
Where we at right now?
We're here in Davie smoking.
I don't.
We're here at Gun and Davie. Shout out to Dennis and Rob. I appreciate them just letting me be out here and shooting episodes. And they already gave me an invite. He's like, look, it's going to be a lot even smoother once we get into the new location where it's going to be, the cigar area is going to be separate from the gun area, because they have a little bit of everything here. I mean, their collection.
Ain't no little bit of everything.
Yeah, the collection, the gun collection is crazy, I know the Saturdays they got the concealed weapons classes and everything. I've seen nothing from love from them, so I appreciate it.
If we ever go into doomsday,
this is where you want to go. This is where you want to go. This is where you want to go. Nah, I need to get myself set up anyway. So I'm gonna be coming in the next couple days, couple weeks to get myself set up. I've just been so busy with everything. It's the podcast. Then I'm doing, I did the shooting for the life insurance retirement planning business. I got the big move that I got to start working towards. Around that March time, they started giving me more dates and stuff. So things are getting really crazy. It's gonna get a lot more busy for me, but I'm ready. thankful for God for these opportunities and for the blessings that are coming and just the way everything's lined up. But you know, it's crazy when to think where I came from. You know, I don't know if you knew this. I don't know. I think I might have told you, but you know, I played a little bit of professional football and I got cut from the team. And my goal was always, you know, NFL. That was my goal, man. NFL. That was my goal. Like every day, you know, I was working out 3 to 4 times every single day. Like I was 250 solid, like 10% body fat, even less. I think I was in that 10% range, maybe a little less. 250. I ran a 4.51, so I was moving to, you know, I caught a lot of eyes, and you know, it was always my dream, like NFL. That's what I wanted to do. And the day, I don't think I've ever cried harder than the day I got cut. And I just remember, like, man, like it's like, you know, you got your whole dreams just wiped out from underneath you. And I couldn't stop crying for I don't know how long. And one of the guys on the team, he was a pastor. And he told me, he's like, listen, man, and this is something that I've kept with forever. He said, you know, God's smallest plan for you is bigger than you can even comprehend. And when I heard that, it kind of made me feel a little better. But as I've seen my life play out right now, I'm like, I get it. Like, I started to get it. It's like, what I'm doing right now is bigger than what I ever would have done if I would have played in the NFL, in my opinion. You know, I can never say, I can't talk about what's never happened or what hasn't happened, but I can talk from what I see, and I'm grateful for how it turned out. Let's just say that, you know. And I always tell people all the time, you know, if you have that conversation, someone asks you, hey, if you go back, would you do things differently? Because I'm pretty sure if I would have done a more conventional route, I could have ended up and played. And I look at the TV every once in a while. I don't even watch football as much and be like, man, I know I could have been out there. You know, and that's an if situation. So it's not fair to those who made it, because everything they had to do to get there, it's crazy. You know, it's not, you know, people watch TV and they think it's easy, and it's not as easy as they think it is. You know, it's just taking that entrepreneurship craft where you grow to building your own business, but you put it's on a physical aspect, you know. It's like you take all that work on a business and you are your business, you are your brand, you put into yourself, you know, to be the best on the field. And, you know, hopefully if you're smart enough, you take what you earn on the field and you learn how to grow from it. You know, you see a lot of people, you know, creating huge successes on themselves after the sports world, right? In the beginning, you know, back in the days when there wasn't as much money, or, you know, you would see a lot of people come and run through this because they weren't used to the money and nobody taught them about the money. People are getting smarter now. Now they're like building brands. I mean, look at LeBron James. You know, he's a billionaire still playing, you know, but he's smart because if you listen to him, he listens to Warren Buffett, he listens to a lot of these wealthy individuals. Now you're seeing more athletes that own more things, you know.
You think LeBron smarter or his team smarter?
You know what? I'll say this: if you got a smart team, you smart. Because I know Bill Gates talked about, and don't cut me out. Don't you know, cut me for paraphrasing, or maybe I'm a little wrong. But he talked about, I don't need to be the smartest person. I just need to hire the smartest people, right? You know, and that's when you understand it. That's when you finally get it. When you know, hey, I don't need to edit all my videos because I'm not that good at it, but this guy's great at it, so let me pay him, right? Because the time it's going to take me to edit the videos and figure out how to do it by myself is not worth the money that I'm just going to pay somebody to do it for me. Let me allocate my time and money somewhere else. Hey, yeah, I saved $500 because he edited the video for me, or whatever that number might be. Or I pay somebody and I keep that 2 hours it would have taken me, but in that 2 hours I made $3,000-$4,000. Well, what you know what I'm saying? What's more valuable? I love that. Such a great book.
It says, I forget that law. It could be y'all.
You work 16, LeBron.
I'm full of crap. But it says, get us to do the work, take all the credit for it. And it might, you know, a person reading that might be saying, oh, that's fucked up. But no, you gotta understand. Get others to do. Steve Jobs didn't build.
Yeah. He just promoted it.
You know what I'm saying? Steve Jobs, he created, you know, the first program and he helped create the first computer. But Steve Jobs had the top
team
software developers in the world.
Yeah. People don't understand that. I mean, like
on his staff.
Yeah. People don't understand that. You say, "Oh, that's messed up." You know, going back to what you're saying about the law. But if you look at every successful business, right? We don't sit down and talk about the employees that were there to build the company. We talk about the guy that put everything together, because maybe those people aren't the type of people to start it for themselves. They know how to do it, but they might not be the type of people to start for themselves. And there's nothing wrong with that. They made their value, right? They made their money, doing what they're good at. They get paid well because they're, like you said, the top software engineer, or the top at this, the top at that. And somebody was smart enough to know, hey, let me hire this guy. I'm gonna put my own money up. I'm not gonna take a profit right now. Like, if you look at the trajectory of Apple, it wasn't $1 trillion company year one. We're talking about 30, 40 years.
It was down.
Yeah.
They even exiled Steve Jobs
Yeah.
out of the company.
And then they came back. They came back and like, we realized we need him.
Yeah.
They got rid of him because like, well, what does he do? He's just a promoter, whatever this.
Yeah.
Not that he was Apple, right? So it comes to show you that, his success brought the company up, right? Which means that it was his vision. Like, the person with a vision is the most powerful person in the company, the way I see it, right? Because they have the vision, the direction, the leadership to be able to bring everybody together. It takes a special kind of people to be able to do that, right? You might be the best software engineer in the world, but you're not going to build Apple. But if you got the vision and you know who to bring the right people, you can put the right team and you can lead them, because, hey, I could come in and run that company to the ground, and you come in, it's the same company, same people, and you take it to the moon, right? So that's value in itself.
I think those skills, back to the apprenticeship, I think a lot of those skills and a lot of those small nuances you can kind of pick up just sitting down, talking to people who already been there, done it. I'm not sure if Steve Jobs had an apprentice, but I'm pretty sure Apple itself probably had, people in the business that was following him. But he's dead and Apple's still getting good.
Mm-hmm.
So I say all that to say, people got to start down here. People got to start giving people the keys, man.
Yeah.
Giving people the keys. That's right now, man. Atlanta is killing when it comes to business, entrepreneurship, creativity. Not saying that South Florida don't have that, but it's
Yeah, I love Atlanta. I love Atlanta. The one thing I see, and again, I don't go out too often. I've been a couple times, but the one thing I see from the outside looking in is they know how to follow like the community, right? Like, Atlanta's like, they're big on, black business, like take the community, right?
Yeah.
And have the community support each other. And I think that's important. You have to have a following behind it. And when you can come in and, start doing black on this or black on that and make it to where you can take that black on out of it, right?
Yeah.
And because it's not a niche anymore, right? Now it's not like the best black on this. It's the best this.
Yeah.
But it started with the following. Everybody got behind it because, hey, I like what you're doing. I like what you're trying to do for the community. Let's get behind it. And then you can take little niches out of it. It's like, we're not the best at this. Now we just move to the next level. We're one of the best in the world. Doesn't matter black on, whatever on. We're one of the best there is.
Say, I think to sum that all up is down here it's a little more political.
Yeah.
It's about tools and position to do what, or what his resume is, what he did.
Yeah.
Oh, I ain't gonna put him on because he might be competition or whatever. It's like, but there's, I want you to be on.
Yeah.
Come get some of this. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, like my buddy, he just moved to DC maybe 2 years ago, and that's what he told me too. He says if you go over there and start talking to people in DC, hey, what job do you have, or who do you work for? And it's all about like status. Like, oh, I work for the government in this position or this. I work with this and this, and it's about status. And it's like people value the wrong things sometimes.
Yeah.
You put your allegiance to the wrong things sometimes, and you're looking at this as a measure of success, and it's like. If you go to different cities around, everybody has their own measure of success, right? You might go to LA and it's like, hey, I'm in the business in Hollywood or this or that, and that's their, hey.
Silicon Valley.
Yeah, Silicon Valley. I mean, what tech company do you work for? Oh, I'm in this startup. And they hear the word startup and like, wow, like that's crazy. And different areas have their own thing, their own niches. And down here is very superficial, very status, like, what's your net worth? What do you got on? Like, what you dressing? Like, oh, you wearing this, you wearing that. Oh, you must be this, you must be that. Real estate's big down here too. People like, oh, yeah, I'm in real estate. You bought a little efficiency, you rent it out. I'm in real estate. But I say that.
You are, but
Yeah.
I get what you're saying.
So it's funny, but going back to 48 Laws of Power, I mean, that's one of my favorite books I've ever read because I like how they take every single law and they use an application back in it from history. And I tell people all the time, when you read that book, 48 Laws of Power, it's like, it's a powerful book, and it could be used for good and it could be used for bad.
It's yin and yang. It's
Yeah.
like fire. I can cook something with it and feed you, or I can burn your ass too.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? It's the same thing.
So that's why I like that book. Obviously I try to tell people, like, just use it for the right reasons. Put your right heart behind it. Put it for the the best reasons to better the world. Because you can also use it to like persuade people into doing certain things and like being very conniving and very like cutthroat and just like cut people down. I always do a comparison to like Machiavelli. The Dark Prince.
I heard a little bit about that story. I didn't get too deep into it.
Yeah, it's all about usurping power, and undermining and just playing your chess in the background, but for bad, right? Just making the right moves. The way my mind works is I'm always thinking, okay, if I do this, what's the next 4 steps after that? Make that decision, right?
That's because you play chess.
Yeah, well, that's how we played chess that first time.
Did I win or did you win?
I won.
You won?
I won. I think we tied on one and I won the other 2.
It's all good.
Yeah, but that's like the way it should be, right? You can't just make a move and not understand that there's 3 or 4 consequences that can happen after. What would you do if each one of those consequences would happen? Okay, well, guess what? Now you're not caught with your pants on the on the floor. Now well, if this happens, I'm gonna do this. If that happens, I'm gonna do this. And if this happens, I'm gonna do this. Okay, let's put the chips to the table. Let's switch to the poker. Let me put my chips to the table because I know whatever happens, I already know what I'm gonna do with each consequential consequence right behind it. And it's all about being strategic.
So back to entrepreneurship. What would you say entrepreneurship means to you?
Honestly, I think what it means more than anything is you control your future. And that's the one thing I tell people that they don't understand is when you're an entrepreneur, you control your future and you give up the right to say that whatever happened is because of something else, right? Let me break that down a little bit, right? Let's say you're a traditional employee, you work for somebody else. Well, one day he says he finds somebody else to do your job. He's younger than you and he can pay him less money than you. So he says, hey, Breon, I'm sorry, we have to cut ties. Boom. Now you can't find another job for, let's say, the next month. So now that's 1 month that you didn't make any money and maybe you didn't have the adequate savings behind. So now you just in a really tight spot and you're like, man, I'm messed up because I got fired. Whereas when you're an entrepreneur, you are responsible for every decision you make and you're responsible for every consequence that happens. And even though it could be a bad consequence, there's power in knowing that I had power over that.
Yeah.
I think that's the biggest thing. Like, I'm not a victim to anybody's circumstances. I am the man that I made and I own all my actions, my consequences, and I own my rewards too. And that's something that not everybody can say, right? Not everybody can say that I'm successful because of what I did, even though it takes a whole team to get to where you're at. Even as an entrepreneur, you can say like, I did that. And if I mess up, I can stand and say it's because of me too. And when you realize you can put the ego to the side and know that, you're at blame, you've got no outside forces are the reason for your rise or your downfall, that's power, man.
Yeah.
Like, that's so much power.
Well, you said some the signs eating that you even what you kill. Besides that, because that's a gift from the curse. Because you might not can make 10 grand a day.
Yeah, you can make tomorrow and
Zero. Besides that, what would you say something?
That's what they do. People like that. And I'm so you're a
Look, to me, the biggest hardship, and I say it's a blessing and a curse, right? I always say to myself sometimes, like during the hard times, like, I wish I could just be an average person, right? Work a 9 to 5. I wish I could be happy at a 9 to 5, making X amount of money. I get 1 to 2 vacations a year, and I have all my nights free. Hey, that sounds great. I'm not satisfied with that. Like, I cannot be happy with that, and that's just in me. Other people can, and that's good. God bless them. I'm not like that.
Sometimes,
Yeah.
sometimes work for you.
Exactly. So to me, my biggest thing is being able to take the failure, and just look at it and say, am I going down the right path? Like, is this what I'm supposed to be doing? And a lot of that, you have reflection, have a conversation with God. Like, God, is this where you want me at? Like, and I just think about like 2, 3, 4 years down the road, while I'm in X position, I could just look back at what happened and say, like, yeah, I made the right decision. But it takes a certain kind of person to be able to seal that.
Just about to say, getting out for being an ex, man.
Yeah.
You know what it is. See, a lot of people saying, I'm ruining our society.
Yep.
That is far from the
It
truth.
means you're a failure. That's what it means.
Yeah. Well, yeah, in a sense.
I don't know any entrepreneur that has never failed or seen no hardship ever in their life. Like, I'm sorry, I don't care how successful you are. Like, and I'm not saying they're not out there, but everybody's gonna see a little bit of failure.
But you gotta be a X-Man. You got to be built for this shit because it's no ceiling now. It's like, okay, you got your end goal. Everybody wants to send you that area, but you standing here.
Yeah.
So how do you build a car or a vehicle that can get you from there to that?
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So now that means, that means you got motherfucking be able to be spiritually invested. You got to be mentally invested. You got to be. You have to like become your own professor, your own manager, your own accountant.
Professor X.
You have to be your everything. Now that's schooling your team and startup money that you hire. Everybody start at different points, but just from that point of starting, when you close or not to your success, you have to apply yourself and like traditional. So now 5, you got HR. You got alignment. You got your CEO that we paint with. The career got that. You got the cleaning lady or the cleaning, and worry about cleaning the office. You got a maintenance man. You got to worry about a pipe being busted. You know what I'm saying?
That's not your problem.
It's like owning a house versus renting.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's pros and cons to both. But I say that to say, a lot of people, the reason why I'm saying this is because a lot of people think I'm an entrepreneur, that's it.
Yeah.
I start studying, that's it.
Yeah, I'm busy.
I'm good. Oh, I'm making money, I'm good. Okay, what about, now you gotta file your taxes.
Yeah. It's
now
funny.
you gotta do this, now you gotta do it. You have to do it.
It's funny too, because you mentioned X-Men, so, we're gonna go superheroes. And, something I was kind of thinking about. The superpower that every entrepreneur has is supervision, right? That's the way I see it, right? Their power is their supervision. And what's that supervision? That vision of what the future looks like, right? Entrepreneurs don't talk about what's going on right now. They talk about what's going on 3, 4 years from now, right? Look, let's talk about Dennis right now. They got this store. What we was talking about, they're opening the next store. That's their vision for the future. Not what we're doing right now. And like, no, that's not what right now. Right now, yeah, we got this, but we're talking about, well, guess what? When we open this next store, this is gonna be over there. That's that supervision that not everybody has, and that's something you need as an entrepreneur, right? You can't be an entrepreneur just thinking about what's going on today. Obviously, you need to make sure you get past the day to be able to see tomorrow. But if you don't see tomorrow, how are you gonna get past the day when it's tough? Because guess what? Not every day is easy as an entrepreneur. Every day might be tough. What's in the get you stop?
It's worse. It's probably more tough days than better days.
Yeah, in the
At least
beginning.
In the first 5-10 years.
In the beginning, 100%. Yeah, every day is a challenge.
The money,
and the problem.
The money is just
It's a reward.
It's gas to keep you going.
Yeah.
But man, listen, every successful business started from an entrepreneur, unless it was a governmental program or something like that. But I'm seeing all that to say people really see me. I'll do it. So for them to sit down, a lot of times when I record, I talk to people. Even when I'm talking back to people about scholarly stuff like that, that's my industry. I don't want to really know. I know you successful. That's cool. But your success, how you measure it, the way I measure it. So the money is yes, it's important thing, but I want to know what you did wrong. What's the
That's gonna help you get. That's gonna help you get past it.
even somebody like I brought up radio, somebody like Whitney, like, he probably, if I had to pocket watch, he probably is, a red-top millionaire or got whole-time millions and product and asset. But he could probably sit down and say, yeah, I got 10 million and then my asset got him. But again, that's people hear that, oh yeah, I want to start. Yeah, look at this. You don't know you got the logistics. You know the headache of logistics, shipping, receiving,
Payroll. People leaving, turnover. It's
Marketing, overseeing marketing, doing it the right way, getting shut off from social media because your product can't be promoted. So how do you go back to the old school? You know what I'm saying? It's just so much real small stuff. So I like to have a conversation to really tell people out there the bad stuff. And I can go through thousands of bad things that I done did.
Yeah, man. I think we all have. It's funny too. Let's going back to the example. With employee and CEO and owning. It's funny because I always love telling this story. It's like a little joke. Employee walks in, goes through his parking lot, he parks in his little space, sees the CEO's Lamborghini, goes to him and he goes, man, that's a beautiful car.
I know this joke.
He goes, that's a beautiful car. He goes,
for him to keep working so I can buy.
He's like,
buy another one.
you know what? If you work hard and you keep your sales up, next year I'll get another one. And it's funny, but it's the truth. It's the truth.
But guess what? So before the pandemic, it was a lot of there was a lot of headbutting on 9 to 5 entrepreneur. And I think whoever started that shit should apologize to people. Because really, entrepreneurship shouldn't be versus a 9 to 5.
Yeah.
It's
two different
things.
It's an apple and an orange.
Just because you got a 9 to 5, don't mean
You compete against my business.
you
Yeah.
gotta compete against me.
How
You
much-
don't.
how much-
And just because I made $1,000, $10,000, you know what I'm saying, a week, and you set on your hourly rate. If we do the math, you still might be circling me in the orange time because I might be in the red. I got loans to pay back. I got credit cards.
It's funny too because I think, and I don't want to mess up, but I was reading something, and for example, like you said, by going back to it, right? Because people with a 9 to 5 could be making more money than somebody who's an entrepreneur. I think Steve Ballmer, I think he's one of the first people to become a billionaire off working for a company. He's the CEO, so he obviously has stocks and shares, etc. So it's not exactly, but
I mean, the company that he worked
Yeah,
for was
yeah, yeah.
fucking Microsoft.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's like that's
Yeah.
you're talking 500,000, 800,000 a year
yeah,
type shit. So
plus stocks, bonuses, etc.
You can do that, but he's an anomaly. But
Yeah, but it's just to go off the point, right?
Yeah.
He earned what he made as an employee, but the guy who owns the company made a lot more.
At the end of the day, we really all employees.
Yeah,
Everybody is an
employed
employee.
for yourself.
You either employed, you either head of employment. You know what I'm saying?
Or you
Or
someone
you
in the
rank.
ranks.
You at the rank. Yeah, you at the rank.
You're
So
in the
either
ranks.
bottom, middle, however you want to do it. It's still a period.
Yeah, I was always
It's this motherfucker who started it. These people who is the foundation.
It's funny too because I worked with and like a lot of and I actually really appreciate the network marketing business model, right? And a lot of people will come
it
in,
works.
and it works, and you
Every business has a pyramid.
entrepreneurs understand that it works, and that's funny because
It's just what product are you selling.
well, it's not.
What gets me like.
Well, this is what I find funny, right? You go to if you take this opportunity to somebody who's not business minded, oh, that's a pyramid scheme. I was like, your job's a pyramid scheme. The difference is
There's nothing wrong with a pyramid.
there's nothing wrong. That's
If you go
why
look
everything's
up
set
the
up a pyramid.
definition, Not the and not the pyramid scam.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
scheme pyramid, that's the
Everything-
that's
everything
the
goes up.
strongest structure
Yeah.
in nature.
Yeah.
Pyramid.
Yeah. That's why I find funny. Entrepreneurs get it and employees don't. So I find that hilarious because of oh yeah, that's just another pyramid scheme. Like, listen, where are you in your position? Boom. Will you ever be able to overtake your boss? No. Well, with this, you actually can overtake the person on top of you. You know, because you could do more work. But it's a mentality. It's a
set up
mentality.
for you to do so. But
Yeah.
the thing that they get a bad rep is because it's always so with a lot of pyramid schemes, they're misleading, so they're scamming.
Yeah.
They're
It depends, like you
set-
said.
there's- if you come to me and say, hey, you want to make $100,000 a month and drive a free BMW,
No, I have your.
I already know you're not really invested
Yeah.
in the product. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I say that to say, as exactly saying exactly what I said, but you're selling fucking toilet paper.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, so you just gonna sell me on the money? Yeah, the money sounds good, but I don't believe in your product.
I don't believe in the product, and that's where the distinction. You have to believe in the product.
Don't come to me and try to sell me on shit when it comes to money, because I already know the ceiling of money. Money get printed all day, every day.
It's numbers on the computer screen.
It's when you come, what substance are you coming?
Yeah.
So if we could take pyramid schemes and do that for something positive, like, I don't know, I'm just going off the limb right now, but if we could do that for something positive, then I would like all harm in it. Even being an employee, if this was something positive, I don't mind, because I know how. I have a formula that I know how to get up out of employment if it was a bad thing or a certain situation, because you can start playing with the numbers. Your 9 to 5 can bring you to entrepreneurship, or in reverse, because I've done it. Your entrepreneurship will bring you to a high 9 to 5 too. You know what I'm saying? Two things can exist at once. You can be both.
You can be both. You know, and most entrepreneurs have been both at one time because they needed money. Yeah, same here.
I bought
They
into
needed money.
that bullshit too. The 9 to 5 has this entrepreneurship. But like I said, I'm older and wiser. I know the mistakes of that age. I know that both can exist, and they have really nothing to do with each other in the past scheme of what you doing for a living. It's just what you're doing
Right now.
Whether I'm selling toilet paper or you work at the factory, like it's like
The brand new
we both
We both, yeah.
we both employed.
Yeah.
We both just trying to get it. You know what I'm saying? But and then they know entrepreneurship. You got to be really ready to work. You got to be ready to tell. You got to be bullets.
Yeah.
They gonna come. They gonna come fast, and you gotta have some on that.
You know, it's funny too, right? Because another distinction I always see between, I know making this distinct compares to 9 to 5 employee, right? Entrepreneur, right? You work at a 9 to 5, and everybody talking about when they get older, they're talking about the day I retire. When I retire from my job. When I retire. Entrepreneurs, they die in entrepreneurs. Like, everything is about, I'm gonna make my business better so I can pass it to the next generation. I'm not saying, hey, I'm gonna take my job at Google and I'm gonna hand it down to my kids. It doesn't work like that. But I got a business and I'm building up from the ground up. I'm gonna build it so when my kids can take over, they can make it better, outlive me. Nobody's gonna outlive their job. You know, when you're gone, your job moves on to somebody else that you might not even know who they are. You probably don't know who they are, or maybe you trained them to take over. So I've seen that 9 to 5. Everybody's counting down to the day of wait. You know what? I'm gonna get to here so I can finally retire. Whereas entrepreneurs, they're always talking about building better, bigger, future. That's one distinction I say, like, entrepreneurs are entrepreneurs forever. Like, they're gonna keep on working their business because it's theirs. They own it, they control it, and they can pass it down. You know. Whereas employees are just looking for that day where they finally get to retire and enjoy the rest of their lives. You know.
I'll say majority.
Yeah, but I'm not. There's
That's
no.
the old model. Like, whoever was in charge of PR and marketing of 9 to 5s and retirement, they did a hell of a job for whatever it was, 100, 200 years. But things have changed so much to where now it's down there, like, everybody really especially with remote, everybody is in business now.
Yeah, no, and I agree. I agree with you
Everybody is
100%.
even if you W-2 employee,
Yeah.
you're still a business at the end of the day.
Yeah, because the old model is different, right? You know, especially working in the retirement area, right, industry. The old model of pensions doesn't exist anymore because it's out of hand. You can't keep on paying people for the rest of their lives. Like you just have you got to pay new employees. You know, so that's why they're kind of going away from that model where like
They're buying a lot of employees out.
exactly we're gonna buy you out
That's
because you,
how manifest the connect manifest with the farm that I told you about. Well, what was told that the guy had an opportunity to keep working, that the company that they're like, shoot, we're gonna take him to my money.
Yeah.
Take this lump sum type
yeah,
thing.
weird you out.
You know what I'm saying? But man, this is like it's pros and cons to both. That me, I'm an entrepreneur, so I have to give people every chance that I get to be able to be in a platform and give information or talk to a young person that might be studying this. It's like, you know, they got that same fire that I had to build something for myself and my family. And you got to be ready. Now, I ain't saying that your situation gonna be the same as mine, because people say they came out of the mud. I came from under the mud. Like when people really get to my real story, I came from under the mud. You know, how they say the flower out of the concrete.
Yeah.
That's my story, and I'm still going. I ain't blossomed yet.
No, correct.
But I got to give people the
But-
real information.
But that's what's the
You better be ready.
that's the beauty, right? You know, because one day, 30, 40 years down the road, when you telling your story to the whole entire world, and somebody that was in your situation can know, hey, I can get out of it too. And that's what this is all about, right? Teaching people information to say, hey, you know, you're not stuck to or limited to these options because you came from this place. People that look like me, or that they're from the same places as me, or they're in the same situation as me, like, look at him. We're now a multi-millionaire. You know, people know who he is, but at one point he was just another version of me. You know, so I can too.
But I gotta get one thing that why I never did courses and stuff, and I did, because I have knowledge in a lot of different areas and successions in areas and in a lot of failures. But I think the majority of it has been, and it's not a bad thing to the bill. I say failure, and it doesn't mean like I fucking didn't learn.
Yeah.
It was just a bad thing. Like, no. I made mistakes out of ignorance.
Yeah.
I didn't know. I didn't know to open up a certain type of corporation to put a certain amount of money in there to borrow on my money.
Yeah.
I didn't know this shit, so it's a mistake. But I'm saying all of that to say, think right. Anybody who would be coming from a 9-to-5 or it's entrepreneurship, like I say, everybody start different, but you got to mentally prepare for, you know, those notices come in. And notices don't mean like you're late on your rent. No, notices as in, I noticed I don't have a net 30 account on my business. Or what the hell is a net 30? Well, I don't have business credit. Why am I using my own money to make, you know what I'm saying? Well, you got to little bit willing to read. You got to be willing to put in different type of work, not just hustling.
Yeah, no, 100%. You know, that's a good point to finish off the podcast, you know, about the not knowing, right? You know, where the day and age that we live right now, you know, what we're doing with this podcast and why I love to give information is not knowing is not an excuse anymore. You can always find out what you don't know. I mean, we live in the age of the internet. If I don't know something, you just go on Google, you figure it out, you go on YouTube, you watch some videos, you go listen to people speaking, you read a book. You know, I can count so many ways where you can find the answer to what you don't know, because guess what? There's almost no new problems anymore. Everybody's gone through it, and everybody's already figured out how to get out of it, you know, and you don't have to do it alone anymore. And that's what we're doing here, because it doesn't have to be, you know, alone. It's not just about my podcast, because this is just my method of trying to disseminate the information that I'm trying to give to everybody else. But in general, information is not hard to come by.
Yeah.
You know, not knowing is not an excuse anymore, right? You can always find out. So again, man, I appreciate your time. You know, you took time from your business, you know, to sit down with me, to be able to give out information for everybody else. And for that, you know, I'm always going to be grateful for it. I appreciate it. You know, always learn from you, and I learned a lot, you know, in this conversation. And again, man, I just appreciate your time and thank you, brother. I appreciate it.
Yes, sir.